Billions of recent arrivals are causing a catastrophic systemic gridlock in the clouds. This is the reality of the hereafter, a massive logistical failure. The crowd is composed largely of people who arrived expecting a luxurious, effort-free eternity. They expected the system to cater to their needs automatically, without any further input on their part. This crash was caused by a specific belief that salvation functioned as an infinite, interest-free credit line. These souls assumed that because a spiritual debt was settled, they were exempt from any further personal growth or effort. Persons of interest like Abby, Diesel, and Rev show up at the Pearl Gates in modern streetwear. They expect VIP treatment and immediate access to private mansions, treating the afterlife like a prepaid vacation. The system unequivocally rejects their entry. Despite their lifelong certainty that they possessed the correct beliefs, the gates remain locked. Arriving with only theoretical belief and zero applied effort leaves a soul functionally paralyzed. They have shown up to a complex ecosystem without the spiritual capital required to participate in it. The investigation moves to the first bank of salvation. This is a data-driven hub where souls attempt to trade their earthly records for celestial real estate. Diesel tries to trade his athletic achievements for an upgrade. In a world of light, physical mass translates to a heavy density that causes golden potholes and stress fractures in the environment. Abby offers her social media supremacy and vast follower counts. The bank identifies these as snare actors, connections that drain away energy rather than building the glow required for higher abodes. Rev attempts to trade his intellectual data. The animated ledger shows his physical mass, social web, and data nodes filtering into the exchange, but the cosmic currency column outputs exactly 0. This triggers an official status of spiritual bankruptcy. Their accounts are frozen. Human metrics of success are entirely incompatible with the structural requirements of higher dimensions. When the currency of fame and physique fails, these souls find themselves destitute upon arrival. The subjects are eventually forced into a chamber representing the original mind. They flee in panic from the intense, unshielded light of absolute truth, which feels like a spiritual sunburn to their unrefined senses. They deploy an idealized image of a savior as a literal shield. This towering silver mirror materializes to block the high-frequency environment, providing them with a temporary, artificial shadow. These souls defrauded themselves by refusing to do their own inner work. They arrived without the capacity to exist in the presence of the original mind, requiring an external buffer to survive the vibration. This buffer traps them behind a one-way mirror. They spend their time staring at a stagnant, filtered reflection of their own earthly egos, completely cut off from the reality beyond the shield. Outsourcing spiritual labor to a savior creates a claustrophobic prison. By demanding someone else do the heavy lifting, they have guaranteed that their own identities remain underdeveloped and frozen. The savior figure eventually steps aside, removing the mirror buffer. This exposes the spiritually bankrupt souls directly to the high-frequency radiance of the original mind. Their unearned beliefs and low-frequency assumptions begin to burn and fracture under the pressure. The dark, coiling smoke is the energetic consequence of facing cosmic truth without the necessary preparation. The system offers a final ultimatum. They can be quarantined in an isolation room or have their consciousness dissolved into molecules of water. Absolute obedience without the burden of choice. 2 others, Evan and Evelyn, survived the light effortlessly. They took responsibility for their own growth, cultivating an inner flame that resonates with the high frequency of the chamber. Because the freeloading souls refuse to work, the infrastructure of this realm is failing. Heaven functions as an active executive boardroom, strictly requiring capable co-creators to maintain the cosmic ecosystem. The group escapes the melting pressure and finds the re-entry lottery. This terminal offers a way out of their paralysis by returning them to the physical world. This diagram shows the function of the Earth laboratory. A generic soul descends into a chaotic planetary environment to gain the friction required to build a complex, glowing inner core. The heartbreak and grueling choices of human life act as the calibration tools for a soul's conscience. These difficult experiences are the only mechanisms capable of forging the cosmic currency required to function in higher dimensions. Rather than remain safe but entirely useless statues in the afterlife, the characters pull the lever. They plunge back into the grueling soul school of Earth to begin the real work. Every struggle in human life is an opportunity to build spiritual muscles. The daily grind is the essential forge of cosmic sovereignty.